Well, hi, welcome back. We're in Module 2 now. My name is Tim Bell, and I'm going to be walking you through this. Again, I'm a GS consultant, which means I'm a consultant in global services at Liferay. And so now we're going to get into a little bit more detail about Liferay DXP, and it's still basic, but it's going to be helpful. So this module is about importing and managing user accounts. If that's not already self-explanatory why you would want to do that, it will become very clear shortly. Let's go ahead and talk about what are our objectives going to be for this module. So the first one is to be able to import users from existing systems that you might already have if you're a business without losing any of that data. We want to transfer all of that data into the Liferay DXP platform. And secondly, we want to be able to organize the users in Liferay into different structures that match what's going on in our company, as well as any individual teams or groups that might be in our company that could cut across departments. We will complete those objectives by several tasks that we're going to not only explain through the slides, but also walk through in exercises. The first one is we're going to set up user accounts. That's going to be simple. It's going to be easy, but it'll be helpful. We'll also look at how to construct the hierarchy of Livingston Hotels and Resorts. How do we take our department structure as a company and put that into Liferay? Take, for example, that Livingston could have different rewards programs. Well, it would be useful for us to be able to create a specific user group called Livingston Rewards Groups that can contain all the users that have that privilege. And then in addition, we not only want to be able to separate users into different categories, but the portal or Liferay DXP should have different functionality and look different based on if you're in that user group. So we're going to create a dashboard page to accomplish that. So we have the required prerequisites for this module here. They're really the same as if you did module 1, so you probably don't need to do any extra work here. Again, you're going to need to have JDK 11 installed, and our bundle, if you remember from the last module, was located in your Liferay folder. We need to have Liferay started up and running. So again, we're going to go to Liferay, Bundles, Tomcat, bin directory, and we're going to run that Catalina sh run command through the terminal. Once more, for this exercise, you're going to want to unzip Module 2 exercises into your Liferay folder. So let's talk about the first objective, which is importing your users into Liferay. Basically, in Liferay, there are two ways that you can handle importing and authenticating users. The first one is going to be through LDAP, an LDAP server. And this is where you already have an existing LDAP repository of users that you want to import into Liferay, and that's a very common use case, right, for any business. The other options are single sign-on, SSO, OAuth 2, and SAML. And the point here is just to let you know that you have these options available to you for both importing and authenticating users. So what is this slide about? Livingston authentication structure. Basically, this slide is about, hey, Livingston has a need. They have different groups of users, and those users should have access to different parts of the website, different functionality, different content. There might be hotel employees, administrators, as well as we have the Livingston Life travel blog, and we have a group of users for that, or business executives. We have some basic out-of-the-box authentication configuration that you can turn on or off. And this is going to be inside of the control panel, inside of configuration, and then under instance settings. You can control how users authenticate. You can let them log in automatically, request forgotten passwords, allow them to request password reset links or not. You can let users without any account create an account or not. In addition, if a user doesn't have an account, are they allowed to make an account using the platform email address? All of those options are listed in the instance settings, and you can examine those and test out what they do. If a company has an existing LDAP server, they're going to want to make sure that that is kept in sync with Liferay. Again, under instance settings, you have the ability to configure what you want to import from LDAP and what you want to export back to LDAP. That's that whole syncing process. Let's say that you create a user in Liferay. You want that to be exported back to LDAP and vice versa, and that has to be kept in sync. So Liferay manages that. From the instance settings, you can configure what you want to import, what you want to export. For example, you can export the users, but you can also export user groups, and we'll talk more about that in a second. So once more, we have LDAP, but we also have OAuth 2 and SAML. And here are just several of the SSO configurations that we have as well. So remember, there's OAuth 2, SAML, and single sign-on. And for single sign-on, we have the following options: CIS server, token-based SSO, Facebook Connect, OpenID Connect, and OpenSSO. All right, we're finally at our knowledge check. So 2 basic questions here. What are the 2 primary methods for importing and authenticating outside users into Liferay? How do you import users? And what are the 3 different authentication options that Liferay provides? In addition, administrators, how do they keep Liferay and LDAP in sync? What are the 2 different areas that you need to configure? The answer is that Liferay has 2 primary methods. The first is LDAP server. If you have an existing LDAP server, you can use that to import your users. And our authentication options are various types of SSO, OAuth 2, and SAML. And then how do you control what is transferred between LDAP and Liferay? Well, you need to go to instance settings in the control panel and specify what to import and what to export. All right, so again, very high overview, just looking at what are the things that Liferay provides here. We didn't go into a lot of detail, but it's good to be aware of what are the options. So thanks for joining this video. Let's go to the next one.